And if you go to Toledo today, it is one of the most iconic cities in the world because they left the houses as they are. 1,000 years old. You see, as if you're back in Andalusia back in the time. Amazing, amazing. And Toledo was conquered in 1082, 1085, so very early on. And the Muslims were still all across Andalusia, southern Spain. So because the Muslims are still everywhere, and Toledo is kind of a border town between Christianity and Islam, the Christian empire allowed Muslims to live in Toledo. And they converted the universities to be Christian friendly. This is a very important point. Listen to this. All the universities were Arabic. They remained Arabic for a while. But of course, pre-Reconquista, the Muslims are only the Muslims are studying. It's a madrasa. What is a university? It's a madrasa. It's a jami'ah, it's a madrasa. What are you going to study in a university? Sharia, fiqh, hadith, tafsir. That's what the law was. When you become a lawyer in early Islam, what is a lawyer? It's a faqih. Faqih, that's what a faqih, a lawyer is, right? So the madrasas of the time were Islamic universities. Toledo became a Christian land with a large percentage of Muslims living in it. And the universities became Christian friendly. Eventually they started teaching in Latin, but for a while they're teaching in Arabic. And Christians are now coming to study. This sparks the first of what is called the translation movements. Pay attention to this. It's very important. Christianity was in the Dark Ages. Why? Because Christians believed that one should not study any sciences from any other peoples other than our pious priests. You cannot study science from the Greeks, from the Romans, from any other civilization. They're pagans. It is not allowed to study Aristotle, Plato, to study books of medicine. Galen has written a book on medicine. You shouldn't study that. According to them, they're kuffars, right? Can't study from the kuffars. We still have the fundamentals of our time. They say the same thing about many sciences, but that's besides the point. Generally speaking, our ulama never had a problem studying sciences from other people. We're not studying Sharia and fiqh, we're studying the sciences. As you know, we had no problem studying medicine, chemistry, mathematics, arithmetics, astronomy. We took the Greek sciences, we did, and we took the Greek physicians, and we built, and we multiplied, and we rose all the way to the heavens with their names and everything. We had no problem. We took science to a whole different level. Andalus is where it began, by the way. All these people you hear of Ibn al-Haytham and all of them, Andalus. All of these people of where is the blood coming from and what is the optics and al-Khawarizm, all of these, well not Khawarizm, sorry, not Khawarizm, but most of the people that we hear about, most of them, Ibn al-Haytham for sure, Abbas ibn Firnas, the guy who first started to fly. He wanted to fly, Abbas ibn Firnas. This is Andalus. There's a bridge outside of Qurtuba called Firnas Bridge to this day, because that's where he died, the guy with the wings. He tried to fly. We needed him to get to the right brothers. Inshallah, he died a shaheed for science. Like we needed to do something, start the process, you know what I'm saying? He went to the pillar and he tried to flap some wings, whatnot. Point being, Muslims reached literally the skies. And the Europeans are completely backward, completely Dark Ages. When does the light begin to shine in Europe? From Toledo in 1085. How so? This is when, for the first time, Europeans are now studying in Muslim institutions, Muslim books, Ibn Sina's Kitab al-Shifa, which is the standard textbook of medicine for 500 years, brothers and sisters. Can you believe Ibn Sina's Shifa was the standard textbook of medicine up until the 1700s? Can you believe? 1700s. The founding fathers of this country are alive, and Ibn Sina's book is being studied across Europe. Avicenna. And commentaries of Aristotle and Plato by people like Ibn Rushd, Averroes, by people like Al-Farabi, Al-Kindi. The Arabs had obviously mastered in studying them. So now in Toledo, for the first time in Christian history, far from the Pope, because Toledo is the very end of the world. The Pope cannot tell them no, it's too far away. What do they do in Toledo? They start what is called the translation movement. What is the translation movement? For the first time, the classics via Arab commentaries and Muslim shuruh are translated from Arabic into Latin. The first time, Latin is the lingua franca, everybody speaks Latin. Aristotle was not written in Latin. Plato did not write in Latin. They're writing in ancient Greek. Europeans don't know ancient Greek anymore. Where do they get it from? From the Arab commentaries of these sciences. The book of optics, the book of astronomy, the book of physics, the book of science, the book of medicine. All of these, the Muslims not only preserved, they wrote commentaries. They took it to a different level. And there's a good TED Talk, by the way, good TED Talk, 5 minutes long. Everybody should watch it. Where does the X come from in algebra? It's from the scene that the Spanish translated. Shaykh, something. They have the scene there, right? You can look it up. The X. Why do we have X in algebra? Why do we have it? From the Toledo translation movement. From this translation movement. And this translation movement, by the way, again, all of these are